All right, guys. So this truck here is a 1956 Dodge Power Wagon. They built the flat fender Power Wagons after World War II, and they built them from 1946 to 68, and they pretty much didn't change a whole lot during that time period, which is kind of cool. So if you look inside of it, what's this thing powered by? It's got the big 230 cubic inch 6-cylinder engine, which hilariously is not very big, and it's not a lot of power. Although we did end up putting a modified cam in this, and now instead of 95 horsepower, it's probably 96, possibly 97 horsepower. I don't know. What's a little bit different about this truck is that this truck here has a rear power takeoff, which a lot of them had, but it also has the King Sealy governor for it. And the King Sealy governor is rare. Okay, don't let anybody fool you, because these are probably the rarest part of these trucks, because they were hard to make work. People had problems with them, so you just took them off. And it also has a square top carburetor, which is critical to making this work. Okay, so what did we do to this truck, and what the heck here? When we got this truck, pretty much rebuilt everything. This engine's been rebuilt. The axles have all been rebuilt. The winch has been rebuilt and all that stuff, but I'll talk about that in a minute. The biggest single improvement we've done in this truck in the past year is to get rid of the bias ply tires and the big radial tires I had. I had 39-inch tall Humvee tires. If you look carefully, there's no longer split rim tires here. So these tires here are actually Cooper tires. They're 37 inches tall, and they're Cooper Discoverer something. Say Discoverer fast. They're 37-inch tires. The important thing, though, is these wheels are no longer the stock wheels. They were made from stock wheels, but the wheels here, okay, are single-piece wheels, and the diameter of the wheel is 17 inches instead of 16 inches. And what that means is I can now run tubeless tires, and I can get Billy Bob's tire shop to put wheels on it and balance them. And that's a good thing, because before, especially where we live in Maryland, it's getting harder and harder to find anybody that will do any work on split rim wheels. So these are welded together. Thanks to Rick Tudor for doing those. He doesn't do it anymore. Too bad. But a massive, massive improvement over the ride on this truck. It is by far the single biggest improvement I've done in the ride in the truck, is to get rid of the bias ply tires. They were horrible. Then I had the Humvee tires on there. They were Michelin's. They were good tires, but the 39-inch tires, they rode like a Humvee actually. And then we switched over to these tires here. And these these Cooper tires, 37 inches tall, they look bad, so you can be part of the bad truck club, and they work really, really well. So what else have we done this year? So this is pretty normal. A lot of the guys have the rear power takeoffs for these guys. What they don't have, though, is this hitch assembly. And Rick Tudor is making reproduction hitches. He was going to send me the original one he had that he made the model from. That didn't work out. I don't know where that one went. And he sold me this one instead. But if you think about it, this truck has a 55-foot turning radius. So when you were to hook your manure spreader up to this guy, or your hay baler, how'd that work? Because you couldn't turn around like a tractor, which has wheels which you can lock up. It has turning brakes. This does not have turning brakes on it, so that didn't work out too well. And they all broke off. And they also, Monroe sold a 3-point hitch assembly for it, and that worked about as ineffective as could be. It's okay for pulling a hay wagon straight and stuff like that. Backing it up, well, look at the visibility. It's got this little window in the back. You can't see out of it. So it's just hard to see. That's the way it works anyway. It does look cool, though. And really, what it really is if somebody hits me in the rear end now, they're going to, like, instead of hitting my power takeoff first, they're going to hit this little hitch first there and puncture their radiator, and their airbags will go off. I mean, I don't know about that. But hopefully that's what's going to happen before anything else happens. So let's walk around a little bit more, see what we got. We did And you guys, I think everybody knows this. A couple years ago, we brought this to East Coast Hot Rod, and Jason and Dean ended up doing some touch-up paints because I've had it since, I think, 2011. So we've had it 11 years now, and you've taken the engine out of it. We've rebuilt the engine. It's a real T137 engine. So the Dodge trucks have T137 engines, by the way. 6-cylinder, it's a truck engine. A lot of them have been replaced, but they're not T137 truck engines. What you don't see inside this guy is rebuilt the transmission, rebuilt the transfer case, obviously the power takeoff, which goes onto the transmission, the winch up front, all the mechanicals have been rebuilt, the wheels, the brakes, everything like that. So it sounds like it's, you know, a big deal. It just takes a lot of time. And when you do that, you're going to chip some things up. So looking inside this guy, what do we got inside of here? It's a pretty standard truck. So what I did inside here is we changed things a little bit. We do have an overdrive made by a company called Laycock. That's what that red button is for. And I got earplugs because it's loud. I also put an aftermarket GPS speedometer on here just to give me a clue how fast I'm going. If you look at this thing here, it says, oh boy, this is going to go 50 some odd miles an hour. Well, that's 50 miles an hour might be the case if you fall off a cliff going down a hill. But the reality is it's a 30-mile-an-hour truck, 35-mile-an-hour truck. It's a farm truck. It's not meant to go fast, and it's meant to work on dirt roads. It's about as simple as it can get for a pickup truck. Down here is the controller for the governor speed. I don't use the governor because I don't have a big thing to use it on, such as a saw, and plus, why bother? When you do run the rear power takeoff, the front winch turns also. So we have the heater. That's an option. That was like an expensive option in the days. So that works out pretty well. So that's the inside of it. I put some aftermarket seatbelts in here. What you don't see here is because this has the flat fenders on it, there's not a lot of room in the cab. And they say it's for 3 men. Well, 3 skinny men, that's for sure. Not by today's standards because they didn't have IPAs back then, I guess. But it does seem to work out okay. It's tight. The dogs and the wife in here are really, it's hard to fit in here. All right, turning around to the front of the truck, it's pretty standard. We did end up redoing the springs on this guy because notoriously the springs wear out. The knuckles have been rebuilt, thanks to Jared, who gave me pretty much new old stock knuckles from an M37, which is pretty much the same anyway. The winch, yeah, I don't really use this winch. And frankly, if you need to winch something, you need to be careful because there's a lot of force here. People lose fingers and stuff like that. You need to have somebody inside the cab when you're running it for the clutch. And you have to engage the clutch and disengage the clutch. And that's what makes that thing work. It's kind of sketchy at best, but it's old school, and that's what they did. It's got this big cable on it, 175 feet of cable. But if you're going to use a winch, I'd recommend having one person do it and stand in the cab because you can't hear anybody because it's so doggone noisy. So that's about it here. If you've got any questions, send me a question, leave a comment, please, and what you'd like to see differently. I didn't do videos of us rebuilding the engine, or didn't do videos of us, the transmission, or any of that stuff, but it's not real hard. It's pretty straightforward. Let me give you another view inside the engine because that's the cool part here. Very stock engine. We did ceramic coat the exhaust manifold. I leave the belt off this, and that's because Clint Dixon suggested you do that. There's little needle bearings in the governor. Those needle bearings and the whole assembly is really hard to replace, so you don't want to do that. Comes with the oil bath air cleaner, which frankly works way better than any paper air cleaner you've ever seen. And what else do we have? That's about it, really. There's not a whole lot going on inside this thing. What I did do, and you can't see it well, I don't think, maybe you can see it here, is we did put an external reservoir on the master cylinder, because the way this works now is the master cylinder, you pump it twice and it's out of fluid. So relieving these brakes is really not a dream. So what happens is I can pressurize this system here, and when I pressurize this system here, it works really well. It's just like a car. You just open them up one at a time. The other thing I did recently is I gravity bled them, and why not? Because it's up higher than anything else, and frankly, gravity bleeding works if you've got time. And what do we have but time? So that's it. Well, anyway, we're going to drive to Southern Maryland here. Come along for a ride, and we'll give you a little bit of the ride and hope you enjoy the show. Again, Have a nice day. You won't be able to hear much when this thing's driving, that's for sure, because I sure as heck can't. Throttle. Contact. Contact.
Let's get started. Drive safely. Make a U-turn on L3 lane. Then turn left on Fox Creek Lane.
You're all set?
Yep. Hit the road, Jack. So your tripod's right behind you.
Turn left on Fox Creek Lane. In 700 feet, turn right on Woodward Road. Then turn right.
All right, guys. Well, this could get pretty boring now, but I'm going to let the video run just while we drive down to Lothian, Maryland for the day. It's a great ride down there. Beautiful day, beautiful fall day. Nice foliage out there. Foliage. Nice leaves. And it's just a wonderful day for a drive in the Power Wagon. So I'll leave the volume turned up. It's a half-hour drive. We stop for gas along the way, and we'll just let it run because some of you guys might want to watch this. Some if you don't. If you don't, hit the next video. Have a great day. Thanks for subscribing. If you like this, please do me a favor. Pass it on to some of your buddies. We're trying to increase the subscriber count and get more people to look at these videos. And leave a comment. Tell me what you guys want to see, or what you don't want to see, or what you like, or what you don't like. But I don't care if you don't like meat and potatoes. So don't leave comments like that. Anyway, take care, guys. See ya. No idea whether you can hear this or not, but I got the forward-facing microphone on. It's a beautiful fall day. 25 miles an hour. 30. There you go. These tires and wheels are awesome. Let me just
5.45 here.
Yeah.
It was 5.59 where we got gas.
Yeah.
And in Staples Corner, BP was 5.59, and it was 5.49 at the highs. 5.45. 15 cents.
Turn right on Bayport Road.
I seem to remember last time there was something where you didn't go in where the UPS said it was a different driveway or something. Fisher's Station.
2 miles.
Yes. Wasn't there an abandoned house right on the side of the road? And one of their parents was going to move in. They were going to renovate it. Yeah. Half a mile. Yes. Yeah. Quarter mile. I thought it was that house. This is your turn.
Turn left on Fisher Station Road. Then turn left.
I wonder what that sign is up there. Gonna turn left. Right. Slow down, slow down. Up
This is
here.
here. Here's the property right here.
Turn left.
Got it. Still behind us.
Watch out for this little peanut.
I'm gonna turn right here.
I know, but I'm just
Destination is
saying.
on your left.
We're going to tractors, I guess.
Or the old cars one line up.
We did smarter than last year, because last year we tried backing up this hill, and all the thing did, you know, it got all those numbers. So this.
How long run are these things? You can't.
56 to 68.
46.
46, I mean, 46, yes.
I met a guy up in Pasadena who wanted to put a 6 BT Cummins in.
A lot of people are putting the 4BTs in them.
Are they?
Yeah, because they're 150 horsepower engines, 160. They're pretty high revving. It's a good swap, but it's expensive.
Yeah.
But then you got to change a transfer case, a transmission, because it's not built to withstand that type of
Yeah,
speed.
he was a Dodge tech, so he was.
Yeah.
I think he was gonna literally take the drivetrain out of it.
Yeah, that's what most people will do. And if they keep them, they put coolers, oil coolers, on the transfer case and the transmissions to keep them cool, even though you use synthetic oil. So it gets hot. So it's good.
Nice.
Thank you. Where's my wife? Is she somewhere nearby?
She's getting something out of that.
Getting something out of the trunk. So, all right, guys, take care. Yeah, we'll see you.
Watch out, this is a drop off here. Oh, you gotta say goodbye to Pete.
No, that's all right. Just go swing by.
Goodbye to Chad.
Oh, okay.
That was him.
Okay. Is there money or something? Or?
No, I spoke to Chad's dad,
Yeah.
and he said no. He said they weren't collecting. He said, I don't want you guys to be the only ones. I said, please just take it. They put a lot of money into. They put a lot of money into Mission Barbecue.
Oh yeah.
I said, we ate. We had a good time.
Yeah.
I said, just please take it and help offset the cost.
Yeah.
Want a drag? Bye. And he did. He finally did. I just said, you know what?
Yeah.
He said, oh, well, they're making it a 30th birthday party. So that's all great. But,
Well, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Give it a thumbs up, leave a comment. Please tell me how to improve this channel. We'll put videos on here that you like. Take care.